Oh no. Oh man. I may have to open this up in something else. How's everybody doing? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Let me get this set up right. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, that's better. May be a little controversial today. We'll find out. I don't know. We'll see. It may be. Just a little bit. Hope everybody's doing good. Last night was Triple F Friday, Foolish Finance Friday. If you haven't watched Foolish Finance Friday, we go over foolish things people have done. 600K lost last night. Go check it out from a friend. And dipped into her savings account. Took 400,000 that she had and I guess saved up and then dipped into her 401k and got money out of her 401k. She lost a total of 600,000 and gave her fake statements. Gave her fake statements. That's what friends are for, huh? All right. So let's get started. Right. 1 second, and then I'm gonna start with this one. All right, we've been talking about AI, Nvidia, SMH, stocks, ETFs. So let's get busy. All right, so today I found this article on what would 5,000 um what would 5,000 invested in Nvidia be worth today? And this was published 2 weeks ago. What would more than one? What would 5,000 invested in Nvidia be worth today? So they gave a visual. Let me bring my screen back down so you can see the visual here. So they gave a visual of, let's say, on February 15th to 2024 closing, the price was a $726.58. So in 2000, when the stock share was 77 cents, today it would be worth 4.7 million if you invested $5,000 back then. If you would have invested $5,000 back in 2000 in video, your 5,000 shares with reinvestment and so forth would be worth 4.7 million, right? But who knew, right? It said originally this was posted on a Verona app. Download for free. Investing in Nvidia has been highly lucrative, especially for investors who got in early. As America's largest chip maker, its stock price has soared given its critical role in powering AI last year alone. And that looks small and blurry. All right. In Nvidia, given that has been highly lucrative, especially for investors who got it early as the largest chip maker. Stock prices soared, given its critical role in powering AI last year alone. Its shares jumped 272%, vaulted it to becoming one of the world's most valuable companies. The graphic shows how much 5,000 investment in Nvidia would have grown over time based on Yahoo Finance. The investing in Nvidia before the AI boom. All right, so 77 cents, $3.85, $4.80, and from 2015 to 2020 was a big jump here. So that was huge, and then 2023, and then your value as of today would have been 4.7 million, or 4.72 million if you would have invested. It says over time, Nvidia stock price rising 261%. That was if you did it back then, but you don't know. It's a stock market. You don't know. It's a gamble. It's always a gamble, but it doesn't have to be. If you pay attention to where money is flowing, and again, I always say look at where the government is putting money at, and who's getting I was going to say 401k loans, who is getting money from the government in terms of grants, in terms of government contracting, where VCs are putting money at. Just be on the lookout for where people are putting money at. Right. All right. So next up, I think I may have this over here already, but it's okay. I wanted to talk about the defense industry. I probably can do a whole show on this. So everybody's always like, okay, what is GovTech? What is X, Y, and Z? How do I get into it? What does that look like? But on the flip side of GovTech, maybe some of you don't want to work for these companies. Maybe you want to do something else, and you can. But the other things that you can do, trying to get this over. I'm trying to get this minimized here. There are other things you can do. You can invest into the stock market in those areas. So that's optional as well too. So there's a couple of ways you can be in the industry without being in the industry. All right, so let's go. So here we have the top 6 defense ETFs to invest in for 2024. I don't know if you know who are defense contractors. Let's start there. All right, so here's a list of defense contractors. We'll make it, this ain't all, but here's the top. So you got GDIT, or General Dynamics, Northrop Grumman, Honeywell, Leidos, Humana, Oshkosh, Aegis, SAIC, L3 Harris, Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, General Electric. A lot of people don't know General Electric. The Mason jar guy, folks. I don't know if you know about all the mason jars, but Ball Industries, they don't just make mason jars. They are defense contractors. They are defense contractors. Ball completes sale of aerospace business. They was actually purchased. I forget who purchased Ball Industries, but they were just purchased. They go to mason jars and lids and all these things that they make. But they also do defense contracting as well, and not a lot of people know about that. All right, so Ball Industries is another one. Also, Bay Systems. I think Ball was purchased by BAE. See, BAE purchase. Yeah, they just purchased them right here. So BAE purchased Ball Systems. Let's see. I don't know how much they purchased them for. I don't know. Let's see if somebody got it. If it's something out there that says how much they purchased. Yeah, they completed the sale. Okay. BAE teammates will utilize the approximately 4.5 billion after tax cash proceeds to reduce leverage, return value to the stakeholders, and so forth. The company will use approximately 2 billion after tax proceeds to reduce net debt, and use the approximately 2 billion after tax returns to share. So 4.5 billion. Let's see. Ball employs 16,000 people around the world and reported 2023 14.03 in sales. I mean, for net sales of 14.03. Right. So you see a lot of this happening in the defense industry. Somebody will sell a portion or a division of their stuff, or they'll sell the whole company. They'll build it up and they'll levy it for sale. SIC is one of those ones that levied up a particular portion uh, of their business and sold it to Lados. So for me, I still get I still get dividend checks, but now I get, instead of me getting a dividend check from just SAIC, I get a dividend check from Lados as well too. It's not much. It's only like, it only come out to about $20 a month. But I've been getting them for a long time now. I get them for a long time now. So I don't know, probably what about for 13 years now. For about 13 years. 20 times 12. Let's see, what is that? All right, so 20 times 12 times 13. Come out to about $3,000. So, but you could take that and reinvest it. Hey, I got that one little hair that's sticking up right there. I can't never get it. I'm always on the wrong side when I do it. Whatever, we're just gonna do that. That one little hair. What's going on, Rain? Oh yeah, a lot of big companies. Tesla, Google, Microsoft. We're gonna talk about Microsoft here in a minute. All right, so let's look at it. The lowdown on some of the top options for investors seeking exposure to the defense industry, right? So for the foreseeable future, there is going to be a demand for defense companies and products that they make. The defense stocks tend not to be the glamorous as high growth sectors like tech, but they provide reliable revenue and income for the customer. Right? The U.S. government, with a seemingly insatiable appetite for products, defense stocks tend to be stable contributors to an income focused portfolio with predictable long-term revenue streams that translate into solid dividends and healthy returns for investors. All right, so the 6 best defense ETFs that they're talking about here, and we can let's go. Let me open up Google Finance as well too, because we're gonna look at what's in those. What are in those ETFs? What companies are in those ETFs? So first up, we have ITA. This is iShares Trust. It's aerospace and defense ETF. This was traded. Let me look here what it was on Friday. ITA. On Friday, it was 129.18. I'm assuming this one is part of the live ticker here. Is overall return over a max has been 397%. So here is what I'm looking at here for this one. Right? Its max return is 397.04%. We got a nice little upswing here for this particular share or particular ETF, aerospace and defense ETF. So what's in this ETF? All right, so this is the largest ETF focused on defense with 5.05 billion in net assets as of October 2023. The ETF is designed to provide exposure to the domestic United States aerospace and defense companies, as well as exposure to commercial aerospace industry. In this in this particular ETF is RTX, which is Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and General Dynamics. Those are the companies that hold. They say the top 5 holdings are just represent over 50% of total assets, right? This also includes 39 stocks as well. The next one up is Invesco Aerospace and Defense ETF, better known ticker symbol as PPA. So let's go over here and look at what it has returned all the time. PPA. Right here. Let's do the max. It has returned 574% as its max in this portfolio. It is, see if they got anything down in here. I don't want to compare it to. Let's go over here. We look inside of this particular ETF. It is based on the Spade Defense Index. Spade Defense Index. Spade Defense Index. So when they talk about the Spade Defense Index here, this is it. Spade Defense Index. Right? This Spade Defense Index is an investment benchmark for defense, homeland security, and space sectors. I bet you all didn't know about these things. I know. All right. The Spade Defense Index, better known as DXS, and that's super small. There we go. Is a modified capitalization weighted index comprised of publicly traded companies that benchmark the performance of firms systematically important to defense and national homeland security. With historical data back to December 30th of 1997, it covers all aspects of the sector, infrastructure, as well as services, IT, and cyber activities, and support and adapting to changes in military strategy, activities, and philosophy. The index is typically composed of more than 50 firms with products and services that target markets including naval vessels, military aircraft, armored vehicles, helicopters, drones, and remotely piloted vehicles, missiles, missile defense, command and control, secure communication, battle space awareness, intelligence and reconnaissance, and space systems, as well as national homeland security activities, including border security, biometric screening, and military cyber efforts. The index are distributed by the NYSE, New York Stock Exchange, ICE Data Services, under the ticker symbol DXS. The ETF was launched in October the 26th of 2005. So Spades Index, sorry. Focused on space, focused on defense and homeland security, right? So they go based on this defense one follows that index. Inside of this, they are focused on Northrop Grumman, RTX, which is Raytheon again, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and General Electric. The ETF has 53 holdings. The top 5 holdings represent 31.9% of that ETF. The next one up is the Spider S&P Aerospace and Defense ETF, ticker symbol XAR. We go here and type in XAR. Oops, sorry. So before the billions, XAR. So XAR, if we look at the max, it has returned 467.32% in this particular ETF. This ETF has 1.58 billion in assets under management, and invest in stocks that make up the S&P Aerospace Defense Select Industry Index. The index attempts to broaden exposure past the so-called prime contractors that dominate the top end of the defense industry or the defense market, blending in mixed mid cap and small cap. In this is Spirit Aerospace. Aerospace. If you've been keeping up with the news, you know that Spirit Aerospace is on the verge of being purchased, if not already. Northrop Grumman, we have General Dynamics and BWX Technologies and Lockheed Martin. If you've never heard of any of these defense contractors, my suggestion to you is to look them up. Why? Because you want to know how many contracts they're getting, what they're focused on, and on top of that, if they got jobs. This is why this show is called Tech, Stocks, and Jobs. Right now, we're focused on the defense industry. So, with that being said, let's look up Spirit Aero because there was a talk about them being purchased. Let me find that article. Yeah, Boeing. This came out a week ago. Boeing seeks the quickest path to quality with Spirit Aero Systems. So they were in the talks of purchasing them, right? So analysts, Boeing purchase of Spirit could strengthen the defense business. So Spirit Aero Systems, again, looking for companies to buy. People don't really always, and that's one thing we're going to talk about it a little bit today too. So a lot of times, and this goes back to some stuff I was watching earlier. I was pocket watching with JT, and a lot of times, don't give me that. Oh, hold on, is it over here? Where is it at? Oh, we just gonna skip that. A lot of times, people are looking for a way to make millions, do things, get things going, uh, create, create this money, so forth and so on. And I get it. Trust me, I do. If don't nobody get it, I get it. But the issue that I often see all the time with these quick rich schemes and so forth is you all don't realize how much work it takes to do what you need to do. So, for example, one of the things that always comes up is should you be work a 9 to 5 or create your own business? That always comes up. I'm trying to find this thing here. Here it is right here. Should you create your own business or should you work for somebody else? That's always a conversation. It's always a conversation. And not realizing that even though you are working for yourself, you got to work 10 times as hard to keep your lights on, 10 times as hard as to do things. It's just what it is, what it is. That's what you got to do. So a lot of times you see things like this where people just go buy business that already exists. So I don't have to go out and grab the customer. I don't have to go out and look for a value, of something that's already a value. You already have it. Why not just purchase you? Right? So instead of starting YouTube channels, why not go purchase a YouTube channel instead of starting a business from scratch? Unless there's a unique angle that you see, why not go buy something and then grow it out and add a division to it? Same way with when it comes down to, hey, I want to, I see it all the time. Like people like, oh, I want to be this influencer. I want to do this and I want to do that. Everybody want to be Mr. Beast. I'm sure they do. I'm sure you want to have his revenue. I'm sure. But why start from scratch? Me personally, why even start from scratch? Why not go work for him? Why not go work for him first? So you can learn the business model, so you can learn X, Y, Z, so you can learn what it takes. Then decide whether or not you want to go start a business. Go work for a YouTuber that you know that has something, that has some influence, that you want to pay for the time, pay for the interview. Pay, hey man, look, I want to give you $200 for an hour, and I just want to interview you. I want to see what it takes to do X, Y, and Z. What's your thoughts? This, that, and other. right? Go that route. Go interview and make sure that's something you want to do. People don't want to do that. You start and you're like, oh no, I failed, or this ain't for me, or they lying. Like, it's always something. It's always something. All right, so right. So here it is on Market Watch. Boeing confirms talks with Spirit Aerospace as it aims to improve quality. So they're looking to buy this air again. What by buying Spirit Aero Systems? What do you think they gain? What do you think they gain? They tend to gain what? Workers, engineers. They're gaining engineers that already are in the industry. They also are gaining what? Intellectual property. They're gaining the customers. They're also gaining the process in which they already work. So that it's a huge gain, it's a huge upside for them. They don't have to go out and train a whole bunch of people. They already got them. And they probably already have a training program and a training system. I'm sure Boeing has one, and I'm sure Spirit has one. Combine the two, and here we go. Again, you got to think like what is it? Like Boeing is losing the game. People like, oh, I don't want to fly on that Boeing jet. So Boeing got to do something, and they got to do something quick. It's not going to be out there. They're not going to get the results that they need by skilling people up. They're going to get the results they need by going and purchasing a company that's already doing it, that's already has a good reputation. Pull them in and let them run the division of building planes or whatever the case whatever they see need fit. No need to start from scratch. Spend the money. Trim the fat and get busy. Helmut Chiller, you said salute Tam. You came to mind when I saw a piece on IBM Mainframe Skills Council. Yeah, no one's listening to that side of the house on the mainframes. That's where all the baby boomers are retiring at. And that's where they're gonna need to skill up at, especially in the finance department, especially at these banks and so forth. Right? So let's go back to our defense ETFs. All right. So BWX Technologies is in that ETF. All right. Here is BWX Technologies. Let's go look at what they've been trading as. BWX Technologies. Their max, they returned 552%, 552.28% over time. Notice that all these industries have been, or all these companies have been on a high rise, on a nice slope over time. And note that again, you don't have to, again, like they're saying, you don't have to worry about whether or not they're going to be like this big explosion. They're slow and steady. They're slow and steady. You can have these in your portfolio, right? So BWXT Technology. So let's go look at what they do. All right, BWX to provide nuclear reactant engine and fuel for the U.S. space project. Don't I talk about space all the time? I don't know. We're hiring the future of nuclear. BWX to provide nuclear reactor engine and fuel for space project. Here we go. Working with submarines. 60 years of nuclear innovation. Delivered naval nuclear power. 315 steam generators. 12 high consequence sites managed by the U.S. government. You probably never ever heard of BWXT. You've never heard of them, but now you have, right? All right, so they're BWXT among the best places to work in Lynchburg, Virginia. All right, so here they go. They have different business units, investor employees, corporate vision, the different locations, so forth. Let's go to careers. All right. Our value, our responsibility, our benefits. BWXT portfolio. Let me blow it up. It looks a little small. All right. BWXT offers employee a full portfolio of benefits that extend beyond healthcare. Our employees are the keys to our success, and we provide career growth and benefits to help you build your wealth and balance your health. I don't ever hear companies talking about we're going to help you build your wealth. I don't ever hear that. What company have you looked at and you go look at their benefits and they say we're going to help you build your wealth and your health? You name me, show me one. I ain't never heard no company. I like them so far. All right. So they have they do flexible work schedule. So you get every other Friday off. You get paid vacation and time off, paid holidays, including holiday shutdown, which they probably shut down for the last 2 weeks of the year. Financial and retirement plan, professional development. They have professional and leadership development programs, training, tuition assistance. They also have cancer guardians. So those that get cancer, I bet you they probably need that. Working with on the nuclear side. Family and parenting leave, foster care support, family medical leave. All right. Let's go view openings. Let's just hit search jobs. Let's see what it come back with. All right. All right. First at the top is a data engineer, a product engineer, a lead process engineer, electrical, machinist, welding. Those that are interested in welding, a maintenance, bearing sale. You get paid 39.12 an hour. Welding engineer, a security intern, a systems engineer, a print shop mailroom technician, a master black belt, UT testing supervisor for fabrication, a HVAC technician, an IT intern, an information technology and cyber engineer, night shift plant manager. You can have your whole family work at BWXT. You can have your whole family work at BWXT, right? Ticker symbol BWXT. Max return of 552.28. They are found in the ETF XAR. Next up, ARK Space Exploration and Innovation ETF. I don't think that's been doing that well. RKX. Let's go. We'll close that one. And we'll close this. And RKX. Let's look at it over the left. Yeah, they haven't been performing well. She hasn't been performing well. See, she's down 28%. This is Kathy Wood's joint. It hasn't been performing well. Let's see who she got in there. She got L3 Harris, Iridium, Kratos Defense and Security Solutions, Trimble, and AeroVironment. Yeah, I've never heard of none of them except for L3 Harris. I ain't heard of none of them except for L3 Harris. I personally went and invested it. I was in it and I got out. I don't know those companies like that. All right. DFEN. Darian Daily Aerospace and Defense. Bull 3X shares. So DFEN, ticker symbol DFEN. Let's go find out. And let's go match here. Oh, they got a big dip. They haven't been performing well over time. Look like they just got started too. They haven't been around that long. Let's go see who they got in their thing. They have Boeing, RTX, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and Textron. Haven't heard of Textron. Let me see what they do. Is intended to generate, this ETF is intended to generate 300% return compared to its benchmark index, the Dow Jones Select Aerospace and Defense Industry every day. The fund does that using leverage, and investors should be aware that along with the potential for an added reward, leverage ETFs come with a lot more risk than standard ETFs. They said that its leverage ETFs are the best for aggressive investors who have the willingness to accept substantial losses in short periods of time. The fund has 144.4 million in assets under management. Yeah, that's if you're willing to accept risk. So there's risk in this particular one. What's going on, Richard? How you doing? Right. So again, there's risk with this ETF. Now the question is, who is Textron? Who is Textron? So let's go find out. Textron. Here we go. All right. Let me see what were they pulling that information from. Okay, Textron is a $13.6 billion multi-industry company employing 35,000 talented makers, thinkers, creators, and doers. We make things fly, hover, zoom, and launch. Things that move people, protect soldier, power industries. We serve customers in industries spanning aerospace and defense, specialized vehicle, turf care, and fuel systems. Visit the sessions below and learn more about our six segments of business. This is Textron. This is what they do. Right? Again, you go look at the holdings in these ETFs to see what companies they have in them. Go look at the companies and see what they're doing. You all invest in the stock market, you invest in these ETFs, but you don't even understand the holdings in the ETFs. Well, who are these companies? Who the hell is Textron? Who is Textron? All right, let's go to careers. I just like to just hit search and see what comes back. All right. So we got 686 jobs here. I am going to filter by country, but as I filter by country, I'm also looking at what countries they have jobs available in. I've loaded up for you. And let me, go back. State, here we go, country. Move me over to the right, D. All right, so the countries that they have are Canada, Great Britain, Slovenia, Germany, China, Australia, Singapore, India, and Mexico. So if you want to go overseas and work, you can. Get you you can go in as a if it were me, I would get my clearance, work at this company for a year, maybe two, and then go overseas. Or you may just go overseas off the rip, right? But it takes you getting a visa, and I think the visas now are taking some time, maybe 6 months, 9 months. But I don't think it take that long, but double verify on that. And I think it may be country dependent too. All right, so we know we got jobs, 533 jobs in the United States. Off the rip to my right, they have an entry level, second shift, associate automation, I guess double IoT engineer. Let's look and see what that is. I have no idea, but we're about to find out. Programming of blow molding machines, down lines, cooling stations, welding machines, ensure safe work, align with manufacturing standard, participate in cooling of equipment, blah blah blah. Knowledge of Siemens S7 Classic TIA portal programming tools, knowledge of robot teaching, a technical degree in programming or related field, 2 years experience, or a bachelor's degree, engineering degree with robotic programming, highly preferred. First work experience in an automated high volume manufacturing environment. Familiar with blow molding, experience with pneumatic, hydraulic, electric systems, lean tools, 6S, A3, PDAC, and TPM. Stuff you probably never heard of, right? So let's go back. And I'm going to filter now by country again. I'm going to click for the United States. I'm now going to, I won't do by unit. I'll do by type. I'm going to go by entry level. And what entry level jobs do they have? Parts and service, associate materials, quality inspector, continuous improvement, shipping and receiving, sales associate, a sandblaster, aircraft painter, associate designer, accounts receivable, a service technician, material coordinator, operations development, a painter, entry level associate manufacturing engineer, and a custodian. Radio electrical tech, service technician, working at Fort Lauderdale Airport. That one job that I just mentioned, associate manufacturing, maintenance, supply chain. And I think we're coming up to the end of it, right? And assembler. Now, fellas, if you're looking for work and you good with your hands and you know some kids that need to get employed, here you go. They maybe came out of welding school. They did something with parts and labor. They want to work in HVAC. Sometimes you may have to move from your city. All right, so now let's go by job function and let's go engineering. So here in engineering, associates control, a supply chain test engineer, and an associate design engineer. That's what they had down for Textron. Textron. All right. Let's go back. Number 6. Kinsho Future Security ETF. Ticker symbol FITE. FITE. Straight line down. Let's see. The max. Oh, they got a little bump. All right. It's returned 91.49% over its years. It looks like it just got started in 2018. So it's 2017, it looks like it says here. Fairly new. Not an older ETF like the other ones. Let's go look and see what's in it. All right, this ETF, you can see it's fairly new because it only has 31.7 million in assets. Okay, here we go. Varnis System, Qualys. We know about Qualys. We know about CrowdStrike, Parsons. I'm not sure what they do, but I heard of them. And an Arrow, I guess Arrow Environment. So let's look at. I know I've never heard of Varonis Systems. I've never heard of them. So let's go back with Varnis. Let's see what they talking about. Never heard of them. Software company. Automated data security. Stop data breaches automatically. Continuously discover and classify critical data, remove exposures, and stop threats in real time with AI-powered automation. Cloud native, automated, and battle tested. All right. Now they hear another company. See, they focus in on cloud DLP, AI security, managed data detection response, policy automation, email security, Active Directory security, right? Let's go and look at Wyvern's. Let's see. I want to see if they got their benefits up here. You can see they're invested in the public sector, but here go the careers. Let's view openings. View all openings. So they have sales, 34 in sales, but 4 in IT and 5 in finance. Let's go look at their IT ones. The IT ones that they have is help desk, project team leader, financial systems project manager, and cybersecurity architect. Let's look at the IT help desk engineer. All right. Assume ownership over problem resolution in a timely manner. Analyze, resolve user issue, first user contact via phone and remote session. Possess 2 years of help desk experience. Understand Active Directory and Office 365 GPOs. Experience with Teams and Zoom. Understand SCCM, all Windows stuff. PowerShell. Understand TCP IP. I talked about that on Wednesday night. Maintain understanding of intricacies regarding VPN connections and functions. Excellent troubleshooting skills. Basic help desk, right? Basic help desk. Now let's go look at let me see what they have in finance. A tax associate, and what is CS? So customer success manager. And then if you go look at their HR, global director of revenue enablement, payroll specialist, marketing, R&D. Under R&D, they have ALM DevOps engineer. So their DevOps doesn't fall under IT. It falls under research and development. So we got a C# automation engineer. And look at these locations in Israel. Cloud product manager. And I told you before, when I think about Israel, I think security. That was a country's declaration. When I think about big data, I think about India. When I think AI, I think China. What do you think of when you think of the United States? What is our technology national declaration? Meaning they mandate down to the elementary level, down to kindergarten, to learn and study and understand what AI and what anything is. You don't get options. You get options on what school you're gonna go to, but we all teaching that curriculum. Let me see. D, what was that country? Was it Singapore? It was a country that just came out that said they are telling their people who are in the age ranges of, I think, 35 and up, that they're mandating them to go back to school and get another degree because of the whole thing with AI. And so they're saying they're going to mandate that their older they're older. I don't want to say what I want to say. I guess they're older students. If you want to look at it, they're um, working citizens go back to school and get another degree in AI and being forced to do it. Um, what'd you say, Devo? Was it South Korea? Look it up. No, that's not the video. It's a video. Let me look. I'm looking. No, it was a video where he was making an announcement. Let me look. I'm looking at it now. When I find it, I'll post it on the community channel. I might have posted it on the community channel. I'll find it. I'll post it on the channel. Continue with the show. Alexander, you said why? What country is this? And you said why would you need to go back to school and get a degree and just to learn AI? Because it's not about just learning AI. It's about programming. If you have a set of people who don't even understand basic programming, and that's the thing though, right? So this is the thing. We laugh. This what Alexander, this what cracked me up with us, right? This is what cracked me up with us. He's like, go back to school. What's the harm? What harm if they paying for it, what are you losing? What are you losing? What are you losing? So think about it. Somebody who's 39 years old, they've never programmed before a day in their life. What are they gonna need? Some basics. Either way it go, whether you go to a 1 year boot camp, you're gonna have to get some type of school in there, some type of education. You, you can slice that up however you want to. It's still going back to school. Whether you do a boot camp, whether you do 4 years, whether you do 2 years, you got to go get and sit in somebody's classroom. I don't care if it's YouTube University. I don't care if you go to edX. I don't care what you do. You still got to get trained. And most people don't have the discipline enough to learn without somebody teaching them and walking them through it. Most people don't have that discipline. If people did have that discipline, all the free training for AWS, all the free training that Azure has given, all the free training IBM has given for certs, for all the AWS certs, they were free. All the Azure certs free. If that was the case, we would have more people certified in Azure, AWS, cloud security, and so forth. But guess what? We don't. And it's free. This has been given out free. People just don't have that discipline. And it's not even about the interest. Because a lot of people like, well, people are not interested. It's not the fact that people aren't interested. The stuff is not taught in a way to make it interesting and understand how what I do here applies here. What is interesting about working at Wendy's? I'll wait. Because I did it for 4.5 years. Tell me what's interesting about working at McDonald's. I just want to know. We got the mindset like right now, and this is what I was talking about last night. Going to college is a scam. It is a scam, Tameika. It's a scam. But yet, I showed the stats last night. The Asians got 538,000 in their net worth on average. 538,000 net worth on average. For Black people, we just got to be strategic. That's just what it is. Nobody wants to call it out. Nobody wants to say the truth. Nobody wants to punch people in the mouth. Nobody wants to do that. Yeah, they are. They're going specifically for AI. Nobody wants to punch people in the mouth. If I got to be the bad person to punch you in the mouth, fine, I'm going to punch you in the mouth. Y'all need to get degrees and you need to get certifications. I'm going to punch you in the mouth. You're going to say this is a scam. You're going to say this, that, and other. But the numbers don't lie. And the numbers haven't lied. And they haven't lied in years. And I don't know why we keep fighting numbers. You're like, oh, because the numbers are rigged. The system is set up against us. Well, okay. We understand the system is set up against us. We understand the new report now that's out that says it's going to take 320 years for Black people to catch up to white people. That's just the white people. We ain't even, the Asians have surpassed white people. So now the question is, who and what and why what you going to do about it? Are you going to stop living or you going to keep on going? Because we know you ain't going to catch up in this lifetime. What we gonna do? I was looking today. I was looking at this guy. I think it was in Atlanta. His father died from cancer. Left him the house. He had been renovating it. He threw it on HUD website. 3 Black men went and found it on HUD's website. Went and moved into it. Changed the locks on it, and they living in it. And he can't get them out. They squatters. He can't evict them. He can't do nothing, but they just living in his house. Like, at what point do we just say, you know what? At this point, I don't care what school you say you gonna go to. You gonna do something in STEM. You gonna do something in engineering. You gonna do something as a doctor or a lawyer. And I don't want to hear nothing else. That's what you're doing. And if you say you dropped out, you dropping out of school. And this is the thing about the whole thing. And don't get me on my mad rant here. Lord Jesus, forgive me on my mad rant. Okay. I like Killer Mike. I do. But that whole series of don't put the Black man on child support, get him this, get him that, so he can go and get a trade. Listen, and this is what this angers me. Because I'm gonna tell you why it angers me. Let me pull it up because people are gonna be like, no, Killer Mike is for the people, and he's trying to do good, and he's trying to make sure that people do and have this and da 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 da. All right, cool. All right. So I get it. I trust me. All right. And this is in Florida too. All right. Atlanta Area Tech. Anybody from Atlanta knows Atlanta Area Tech. Old school, Stewart Avenue, new school, Metropolitan Highway, whatever. Atlanta Area Tech has free GED classes. They have free AWS classes. They have free tech classes. I don't understand. I don't understand. You get the Hope Scholarship. If you don't qualify for the Hope Scholarship, they also have funding for you to go to college. Oh, you didn't get your GED? No problem. We got free training for you to get your GED. You want to be a chef? No problem. We'll train you. All you need to do is qualify for this. You go to school, we'll pay for it. Oh, you want to be a chef? You want to do HVAC? Oh, you want to do welding? Oh, you want to do this? Oh, you want to do that? It's free. There's no reason why people should be unemployed and without education in Atlanta. You can't tell me. You can't tell me. I don't want to hear it. It's free. And what's so crazy about it is my mom's friend back in the day used to teach HVAC at Atlanta Area Tech. So here we go. The Hope Grant tuition free programs, Atlanta Area Tech. Tuition free. Students interested in a field, entering a field in which there are plenty of job openings can choose to enroll in one of the many programs that they want to study for. I'm going to go down here. We're going to start with public business and public service technologies. Oh, well, look at that. Business and public services technologies. Oh, say what now? You want to do what? You want to be what? You want to work, you want to be an AWS cloud solutions architect. You want to get the certificate. Oh, okay. You want to go and learn about the CompTIA A+. Oh, okay. You want to work with Microsoft stuff. Oh, okay. Oh, you want to be a C++ programmer. Oh, you want to get your Linux and Unix system administrator certificate. You want to be a Java programmer. Oh, okay. You want to do motion video and film. You want to do early hood child education. Okay, no problem. Right? Let's go back to it. Industrial and transportation technology. You want to do air conditioning? You want to do auto collision? You want to do automotive? You want to do aviation? Carpentry? Oh, you want to get into commercial truck driving? It's there. It's already there. So when he says they must be forced to go to trade, why would I force you to go to something that's already available? You either gonna do it or you don't. It's just what it is. What's going on, Lawrence? It's all out here for free. Did anybody go sign up for the diversity scholarship that I posted inside of Slack? They they never did this before, but O'Reilly is giving away 500 diversity scholarships where you can get their platform for free. You better go apply. I posted in the Slack in scholarships. Then you'll say to me, well, what do I get if I get in there? They got whole career paths and tracks already set up for you. Already set up. All you need to do is do it. And I agree with you, Don, that you got to go with the end in mind. But even with the end in mind, you got to say to yourself, first, I can do it. Secondly, who am I going to do it with? Meaning, don't try to learn in an isolated environment. Go seek out communities that can help you and help guide you. I'm not telling you to go get a boot camp. I'm not telling you to go join some cult or anything. I'm saying get in the room with like-minded people. Get in the room with people where they're already doing something that you want to aspire to. Stop trying to learn by yourself. I think, is it pride? Yeah, I did this by myself. Just like I talked about it on the show last night. I know for a fact that Hawaiians, they all it be the brother and his wife, it be the sister and her husband and the children, and they all live in one house. They all eat dinner together. They all do everything. What you? I don't even know. I don't even know if it's lack of confidence and faith at this point, or if it's just you have conditioned yourself to live in an infinite trauma cycle. Like if I'm not getting abused, then it ain't for me. If I don't see, if I step out today and everybody happy, something wrong. Like, it's an infinite cycle of mental abuse. And it's like you live for it. Like today, I'm just gonna be abusive today. Like it ain't good. If I ain't get abused today, it ain't it. So my man rant over. Get back to these defense stocks because I can go home. Data engineer, DevOps engineer, all based out of Israel, right? Varonis. Parsons, we know who CrowdStrike is, cybersecurity. We know who that is. So Parsons, we're gonna say we're just gonna put tech beside it. Okay, here we go. Parsons Corporation, counter unmanned aircraft system solutions. Here it is. What do we do? Global infrastructure, transportation, federal infrastructure, environmental, urban development, energy, water and waste, national security, some of the projects that they're working on, and the products that they actually produce. We go all products. Here's the products that they produce. Now let's go look at the careers. See, benefits come right up. That's why we want to see what your benefits look like. Okay, so they got a 401k company match. They also have employee stock ownership, which is important. That's important. So you can buy some stock, and when they go to sell, you get a little kickback there. All right, so they got an HSA, PPO, so forth, robust employee assistance, and they have a Parsons credit union, career development, continuing education. Their benefits, the inclusive benefits that our U.S. providers cover. They also have building healthy family maternity programs, infertility treatment, cryopreservation, gender affirming surgery, HIV testing. They do the 980, so every other Friday you're off. They have a PTO situation. They got floating pay holidays, wellness resources, $45 for a monthly wellness credit, $150 in wellness annually for participating in various challenges and activities. They got pet insurance, employee recognition. All right, let's go to careers. All right. So let me filter. All right, looks like we got all over the US. Here is what I picked right here. So let's go. Let's see. Let me click on remote. All right, so this is what they got for remote. You got to go overseas. Governance knowledge content manager. It's a remote. A senior software engineer for NASA. That's remote. A program manager for identity and biometrics operations. Those are the 3 remote positions that they came up with right here. Oh, here's some more. Full stack, labor payroll clerk, intermediate architect. It looks like CAD and drafting, marketing coordinator, talent acquisition director, pricing specialist, a senior BD director, business development, command and control data link integrator. You're international. Look, no more remote work. No remote work. Assist admin, 75% travel required. So those that want to travel. System administrator, 75% travel required. You'll be joining the sysadmin group. This role is unique in that it has heavy travel as our projects span various locations and require on-site support. You provide on-site system administration and support for clients across multiple locations. Install, configure, and maintain software. Collaborate, provide experience as a sysadmin role. What are they looking for? Somebody that knows VMware, experience with DoD systems, automation, have your CompTIA Security Plus. Looks like you're gonna be working with some Microsoft stuff. Building automation and control systems is a plus. They don't say whether or not you need a degree. I don't see that. Minimum clearance required to start, none. All right. So somebody looking for a job and it doesn't require clearance and you want to be a sysadmin and travel, here you go. To start. Get busy. All right, let's see what else they got. Cloud engineer, intern, a principal contract, a unified systems engineer, electrical engineer, senior rail and transit, any location, logistics lead, computer engineer, a virtualization engineer, remote. Let me see if it requires anything. Understand the DevOps, NSX, ITIL, Jira, Bitbucket, DevOps practices, minimum clearance to required, none. Minimum clearance required, none. Parsons. This falls under information technology. The job rec is 151036, 151036. Virtualization engineer. It says Parsons is looking for an amazingly talented virtualization engineer to join our team. In this role, you will get to work alongside cloud professionals as part of our FedNet team, reporting to virtualization and automation manager. Understand, get your understand CMMC. You'll understand that when you get in there, but go look it up. It's one of the things that all federal contracting companies have to meet if they're doing business with the DoD. They have to be CMMC certified. So you got a set of rules and guidelines that you got to follow. You got to hit compliance and you got to apply those policies and strategies in order to continue to do work. And you got to use your engineers to help you implement and make sure those things are continuous because they're going to do audits continuously, right? Bachelor's degree or equivalent experience, 2 years of experience of understanding DevSecOps, infrastructure as code. Your favorite people come up, your favorite tools come up, Ansible, Python, and PowerShell. Cross-functional IT expertise, storage, network, and database infrastructure. Strong experience with both Linux and Windows. Understand hardware, understand DNS. Interpersonal skills, boom, there you go. Right? Cloud engineer up there. HVAC. Benefits call center supervisor. Principal subcontracts administrator, ITS design, senior environment, Azure Cloud, Azure, senior network engineer. The jobs continue. It's almost 1,700 jobs on this site. So probably in total today, I've shown you at least what 5,000 or 6,000 jobs from various fields. If you're looking for a job, I just pulled out companies today. Parsons, BWXT. Go look at the indexes or the ETFs and look at who is in there. Who is AeroVironment? Ask yourself. I don't know. I ain't never heard of them folks. But we're about to find out. Unmanned aircraft systems. Let's go. Because when I hear that, I'm hearing technology. I don't know what you hear, but that's what I hear. We're hiring. Okay, what you hiring for? With these unmanned systems. Sound like some software and programming to me. They got jobs in Germany. All right. See, automatically comes up. A senior flight test operator, production technician, senior systems engineer, engineer flight test, cybersecurity analyst. That's an intern. Information insurance intern. They use it in Cali, Huntsville. They're looking for a repair technician, a program manager. Over in Melbourne, off the coast. Melbourne is the Space Coast. That's where your boy just went over there to. Your boy went over there to Cape Canaveral, to the Space Coast. Product engineer, senior cost accountant, system test engineer. If you thinking how I'm thinking, what's the correlation between Cape Canaveral and Huntsville, Alabama? You should be thinking like, what contracts are they working on that are in Huntsville, Alabama, and Cape Canaveral? What it look like? It's 96 jobs on here. Now you can go by, you can come in here and filter out how you want. ML, autonomy, IT, finance, manufacturing. You can do all of that. 96 jobs on their site. Now you could probably go find their benefits as well. Go back here. Oh yeah, they're right here. Benefits and compensation. All right. They have a 401k account. Let's look and see what they say. It is a Roth 401k. And this is what they do. AeroVironment will make a safe harbor matching contribution each pay period to the plan. Each pay period to the plan in the amount of 100% of the amount you contribute up to a maximum of 5.75% of compensation that you defer into the 401k plan during the plan year, subject to IRS limitations. To be eligible for the safe harbor matching contribution, you must make 401k contributions to the plan, and will be fully vested and not subject to forfeiture. Right? And they have a summary of the description of the plan, how it works, and so forth. The credit union, the disability, identity theft protection, long-term care insurance, and pay period and pay days. Pay is 2-week period ending on Friday before your check is distributed. So they do 2 weeks. Some companies do a month. Some companies only do bi-monthly. Yeah, basically that's right. Right? So I'm gonna give y'all this one. Heather knows about this one. And you ought to thank me later. Mm, 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 mm. Is it ZAI? I think it's ZAI. Okay. Thank me later. Go to benefits because a lot of y'all be skipping on this. I ain't gonna go. I ain't gonna do it, Heather. I ain't gonna pull out the sheet. I ain't gonna do it. All right. Episode 124 of Tech Stocks and Jobs. I talked about, and I will continue to talk about, because you need to be strategic in which companies you go after, because you need as much help as you can get. What are you talking about, Tameika? We get paid, and when they do a match, that's nice. They're doing a 3%, a 4%, a 5%, a 6% match. Go for the companies that do 10% match. In episode 124, I helped you out. I guide you through this. Maybe you don't work for the company and get a clearance. Maybe you just go work for the company and do something else and then roll in and get a clearance. I don't know, whatever the case may be. But there are companies out here, and we found another one the other day. I think it was DSG Solutions. Was it DSG Solutions? Or was it DSP? I don't know. I had to go back to my notes. I mean, it was, yeah, I think it was DSG Solutions. By the way, so put in the chat, um, if you know what it means to have a profit sharing 401k. Put in the chat, one or two. The folks that's been here, they know. The folks that ain't been here, y'all may not even know what that is. What is a profit sharing 401k? What does that mean? There's a Roth 401k, there's a profit sharing 401k, then there's just regular 401k. And there's not a lot of companies out there that do profit sharing 401k, but there are ones that do exist that do it. Right? So let me pull out the calculator, because the reason why I was looking at those, not just the ETFs, what I wanted to see was what the benefits of those ETFs. Now, when you look at profit sharing 401k, this is what this is. Zeta contributes 25% of your annual salary to an individual, to an individual, lots of individual benefits account. This account is used to help cover costs of health benefits and time off. The plan offers employees flexibility to choose how they spend the money based on their own individual family needs and so forth. Right? Thank you for mentioning that. One said yearly bonuses. Yes and no. So, what they talking about right here? Okay, let's say Heather, I got to do it because it just visually makes my life easier. Sorry, Heather. Going on there to Jay. All right, so pulling it up so we can have a great conversation. We still got to go with Microsoft. All right. We're ready. Let's talk about it. It's back. It's back, folks. The spreadsheet back. Okay. So say you get a job offer and they offer you a base pay of, I don't know, 185,000. And you're like, man, I know I can make more than that. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So 185,000 is what your base pay is. But they telling you automatically off your base pay, I don't care what you do, I don't care what you look like, I don't care where you go, we're gonna automatically off the rip, regardless of whether you input anything or not, we're gonna put 25% into your 401k. So that 25% is line number 8 right here. Line number 8. So for the year, they're going to put $46,000 into your 401k. They're not going to take $46,000 from your 185,000. They're still going to give you your 185, right? So let's do this because I know most of y'all are visual. So 185,000, right? Time I just do divided by 12. Your gross monthly income is 15,416. That's okay. That's all right. That's okay. That's okay, right? That ain't bad. It could be better. I know it could be. Because we our goal is 200. But there's some things that happen here. So your 185 really times 0.7 divided by 12. Your real true take home is 10,791 after taxes. Okay, that's fine. So in the spreadsheet here, they're putting in 46,250 into your 401k. So every month, 46,250 and divided by 12 every month into your 401k. They're putting in 3854. Now, that's every month. Plus, because they are contributing, you still contribute your contribution, which is 23,000. And so your 23,000, remember 3854, remember that. 1917, like I said, 1917. So we're gonna do 1917. I just rounded up a little bit, plus your 3854. So every month of that year that you work there, you're gonna get approximately $5,800 put into your 401k. 5771. $5,800. All right, so that's 5,800. They go into your 401k every month, right? So now let's take that and multiply that by 12. So in your first year, you can do no more than 69,000. You'll have 69,000 in there. Say you do this, you stay with this company for 5 years. I don't know. Your base pay is gonna go up. I'm just approximating here. So in the first that 5 years you stay at that company with, I'm not including it working in the doing this thing. You have contributed 345,000 into your 401k. Is that fair? Is that okay? Is everybody okay with 345,000 being in your 401k? Again, profit sharing 401k. But wait, there's more. This little lines down here, 12 and 13. This is where your PTO comes from and your IBA. Now, you could essentially, because you may be working 980s, right? Meaning you have every other Friday off. You could be scheduling yourself where you don't take off work all the time. And you may have flexible days where, hey, I in my 2 week period, I worked, you know, well, for the month, I worked over my 80 and I got 16 hours. So I'm gonna use my 16 hours towards the end of the month or the beginning of the month, however that floats around. And I'm gonna use them 16 hours to go to the doctor, schedule my time at the doctor, right? So with that being said, and the way your insurance works is you could essentially get back, because these two numbers right here is 46,000. Let's say you use, I don't know, about 10,000 of that. I'm just speculating. So there's $36,000 sitting out there. So if we take that 36,000 and multiply that by 0.7, you could get back another $25,000. That's cash. That's to you. That's your money. So now the question is, do you like it or you don't like it? Would you like to get back 25,000? Jerome, what's going on? I think you asked me about WGU. WGU is fine. I think they got a cyber and computer science and a couple other things. But yeah, appreciate you, Jerome. Just hit me up and send it to me in Slack. The thing about the 4 year degree is a lot of I don't know about WGU in terms of like what they require. Like again, I think we need to get back to basic math and engineering. We need to get back to basic math and engineering. Like go learn algebra, go learn statistics, go understand trig, go understand those things, because that's going to help you with your calculus and that's going to help you with your physics. You get that stuff down, understanding what the tangent is, the cotangent is, understanding what, how to look at how to do derivatives, how to do integrals, right? How order operations, all that, right? That's just basic stuff that we just need to get back to. I think I think tech boot camps need to teach math. That's what I think. So for SANS has scholarships. You can go and get a scholarship and continue on. In terms of scholarship, meaning they have scholarships for various things. They also have degrees at sans.org. You can go to you can go and get a degree at sans.org in cybersecurity, which to me makes more sense than getting it from a 4 year college to me. Why not get a degree from a place where they actually have security people teaching and doing the work that are in the field? That's my thought process. Right? Yeah, send it to me in Slack. And SANS also has scholarships for the college curriculum as well too. Now, back to this here. So the 25%, and they say any balance remaining as of December the 31st in 1 year and not used will be paid out in January paycheck of the following year as income. Now, you get, if you choose to, you get 8 weeks of time off in a year, 320 hours of time off in a year. 320, right? You're vested on day one. There's no waiting period. They pay for identity theft. They pay for secure travel. They pay for health. They pay for your health advocate 50% for your cancer. They have legal services, supplemental. They have child life insurance. They do tuition reimbursement as well. And this is what I mean about going to check out the company's benefits. I have my SANS cert in cloud security. Yeah, I did my SANS cert in cloud security. That's what I did. So how many of y'all does this make sense? Put a one in the chat. Yep. SAN has degrees. Mm, 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 mm. They got courses, they got instructors, they got a whole degree. You can get your master's. I even think you can. I think you even get a bachelor's as well. Let me see where it's at. Uh, Master of Science in Information Security Engineering. You can sit in on the info sessions and the whole nine. Here's the undergraduate, here's a bachelor's, here's the undergrad certificate, here's the master, here's the graduate, whatever. Then they also have tuition assistant programs, the whole nine. So you can go check them out. I'll bring Dennis back on. I'll bring Dennis back on. Is it intense? Absolutely. The classes are intense. My thing with SANS is don't do nothing else. Don't try to read nothing else. Don't talk about you about to go out to the club. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. Give it up for the band. That's all you're gonna be doing. It's SANS. You're gonna be drinking. You're gonna be drinking from a water hose. All right. So those are the 6 best ETFs. This one, the top 3 defense ETFs for 2023. And they talk about the same ones: XAR, PPA, and ITA. Right? Check them out. You have what the information on these particular ETFs. All right. Let me look. Because sometimes you have to be very visual with the companies that we're talking about. Visualizing Microsoft's revenue by product line. If you don't know, now you know. Microsoft is also a government contractor as well too. If you don't know, now you know. Right? So we're gonna look at Microsoft revenue. Their Azure cloud services gives them $80 billion. That's what they have earned. Microsoft's 365 returns them $49 billion. Windows 11, the OS, $22 billion. LinkedIn gives them $15 billion. Copilot, $12 billion. Xbox, $15 billion. And other includes IT consulting, cloud enterprise, and information equipment sales is $19 billion. A total revenue of $211 billion. $211 billion. So, whenever you want to know what revenue people got and contracts have won, this little site, FPDS. We just looked at Zeta, but let's look at Microsoft. Let's see what we can pull back. All right, so you probably can't see these numbers, but I'm gonna blow them up over here on the side a little bit. Yeah, okay. So Department of Defense, 16,000. The State Department, Homeland Security, the Justice Department, the Commerce, Agriculture, Human Service, Health and Human Services, and so forth. Right? The legal name business is Microsoft. Right? The legal name business is Microsoft. Purchase order from the Department of the Army. The purchase order from the Department of the Army. Department of the Army. Right? You could just stick to DOD. I can export this data. I'm gonna go down here to number 10. You can go all through here and see what they've gotten over time. So let's type in the question. How much money has Microsoft made from federal, right? Let's look this up. So we just gonna start off right here in 2021. Microsoft wins a U.S. Army contract for augmented reality headsets worth up to $21.9 billion over 10 years. You tell me how much you think they've gotten from defense contractor. That was just in 2021 on one contract. And how long Microsoft been around? Oh, okay. This is 2019. Microsoft big win. Pentagon signs a massive $1.76 billion contract. This is from 2019. Contracts for 2019. Microsoft awarded 1.76 billion fixed army enterprise services for the Department of Defense in 2019. I can show you contracts for billions and billions and billions of dollars. You want to know how much Apple got? You want to know how much any of them have? They're all defense contractors to me. Hold on. They're all GovTech contractors to me. That's the petty in me. All right. So visualizing their services, and they talk about it right here. Their cloud computer services is 38% of their market share. Their cloud office suite 23%, operating system is 10, gaming consoles is 7, employment listing platform 7, AI enabled search engine is 6, and other is 9%. What do you think government contractor probably falls under? The first top 3. The first top 3. The first top 3. Right? So you've seen how being strategic at companies can benefit you on your search, what they're donating. Let me ask this, because we said it would be like 350,000, right? Let's go back. Let's just do our calculator, because it make it easier. We say 70,000 and 5,700, and we say in 5 years, we do 8 and 2. So let me ask you this: in 5 years, can y'all save up $500,000? In 5 years, can you basically 100,000 a year? Can you save $100,000 a year in 5 years? Can y'all do it on your own? You don't have no contributions from no company. You saving $100,000 a year. How much money do you think you need to make, or what kind of stuff can you make to get you so you can have $100,000 that you put away every year? You probably would need to be at a job paying what, about three to 400,000. Because if you made 300,000, let me multiply by 0.65. I may need to multiply by something else. Oops. I need it. Maybe. We're gonna play here. Divided by 12. That's about 16,000 a month. So 195. So you have to be at 300,000 a year to put away 100,000 a year. Because at 100, even at 170, Jerome, that's 119. That's about 99.16 a month, almost 10,000 a month. So 10,000 times 12 is 120. So what you're saying is a month you can live off about, let's see, let me multiply it by 12. It's only 119 left. So you can live off of $20,000. I got you. So let's go. Let's look at 300,000 times 0.7 is 210. Now divide that by 12. It's 17.5. So you will have to put away 10,000 a month. So you need to be at 300,000 if you want to put away 100,000 a month. What skill set are you gonna? What skill set can you get, and what skill set do you currently have right now that you can get a job paying you 300,000? And a lot of the jobs are not remote anymore. So what skill set can you get that's gonna get you 300,000? I ain't talking about total comp either. I'm talking about base. What job? I know some, but I want to see if you know any. What skill sets? I know some, but what do you know? What skill sets can you have that's gonna net you 300,000? Well, that's your base. Now, here's another way to look at this. Do you need to be in the United States to make 300,000? That one little hair one, it just don't want to stand up like alfalfa. 300,000. Just asking. Overseas work. I'll show you what I pulled up. Overseas military contracts. Overseas government contracts. DoD contract jobs. Army, Europe, and Africa. Private security jobs overseas. I'm gonna tell you what people do. See, I'm looking up some. Taxes for expats. The foreign earned income is the largest tax advantage available to you as an expat. If you invoke, you can exclude up to $112,000 in 2022. That was in 2022. It's probably gone up in 2024. I think it may be 120 or 126, something like that. And foreign earnings from tax income. So your first, basically what they're saying is your first $112,000 is tax free. So say you earned a base of 170. Your first 112 is tax free. If a person meets either the above conditions, they are allowed to deduct $112 of their foreign earned income from their U.S. expat taxes. Right? Other considerations, opportunities that American expatriates should be aware of: the foreign housing exclusion or deduction. In addition to foreign earned income exclusion, you can also claim an exclusion or deduction from the gross income for your housing amount if your tax home is in a foreign country, or you have self-employment income and you qualify under either the bona fide residence test or physical presence test. Next one up, you still qualify to make contributions to your retirement accounts. These contributions are subject to certain limits to your gross income and so forth. So forth. Other income. Did you rent your property while living abroad? Your rental income is reported along with other related expenses included but not limited to mortgage interest expense, dividend, or other investment income reported less related expenses. Are you self-employed? You are in need of a tax plan. You could be saving at least 6% of your gross income. So again, taxes for expats. You can go and look all of this up. But again, I think it has increased to like 126, I believe it is, maybe 124, something like that, 120, 126, something like that, for being overseas. Now you say, hey Tameika, why are we talking about this? Well, some of these defense contracts you could go live overseas. So now let's get back to our calculator here. So again, knowing that 112,000 at a minimum is tax free, this 185 look a whole lot different now. So now if we go back to the calculator and we just do 112,000 and divide that by 12, because we don't have no taxes being taken out, that's $9,300 a month. Does that look a little different now? But wait, it's a gift that keeps on giving. Now you're not taxed on the 185. You're taxed on 112 minus the 185. Different income tax bracket. You're still getting 46,000 put into your 401k, basically 70,000 when you go max your stuff out. You're still getting a kickback from your PTO. So on that Zeta site, that 320 hours that you get for the paid time off, say you only use 20 of them hours because you overseas, you ain't doing nothing, you chilling, you decide to stay over there, you ain't come home for a year, you took a little time off. I'm gonna be nice and be generous. I'm gonna take 40 hours off. You're getting paid 88.60 an hour. That's how much that rate is. 88.60 an hour. And so we're gonna take off 320. We're gonna take off 40 hours. We're gonna say you took a week off. Because work-life balance gotta happen. So 280 hours times I'd multiply by 89 to keep it simple. So that's 25,000. So that's 25,000 you get back. What are you gonna do with that money? So in one paycheck, you can have $34,000 in one paycheck. Once a year, you get a paycheck that's about $35,000 once a year. You've been working at that company for 5 years. You've got $175,000 just liquid, just chilling. What you doing with it? I don't know, D. I don't think they're gonna do nothing with it. Y'all can go buy a Gucci belt. $500. You gonna buy a Gucci belt? How about a Gucci wallet? Okay. How about a YSL bracelet? YSL bracelet? I mean, don't y'all gotta have the glasses? Don't y'all need the Porsche sunglasses, right? Don't you need the Porsche frames? No? Okay. I'm being cheap, right? What you gonna do is you going to Monaco. You gonna take that 35,000 and you going to Monaco. You see the Shein glasses? The Hotel de Paris, Monte Carlo, 787 a night. I'm sure they got one more than that. We staying at the best hotel. That's what we doing. That's what we at. This what we doing. This how we living. We going big. We getting the superior room. We want the patio view. Want to sit out and have my little breakfast. I want heated floors in my bathroom. I want a little chase in the front of my bed to sit there and to be leisure. Read a book. Be a little leisure. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go overseas. I'm gonna make this money. I'm gonna take a trip. But the trip is gonna be a little cheaper for me to do it with. Because I'm already over there. The best way to get a trip like this, the best way to do stuff like this, the other way is speak at a conference internationally. That's the best way. Lyon. Anybody been to the city of Lyon? Anybody been to Lyon, France? Anybody been to Lyon? Let's look at some images. A little Lyon in your life. I ain't gonna say no names, but somebody was up in Lyon. Somebody was up in Lyon. I drove past that. I remember that. We rode past that. We had dinner. We had the pizza made, was it made of olives? The crust was made of olives, right? Black olives, a little city life, little. That's right. I want a heated commode. That's right. I want heated floors. I want the sleep number in my on my bed. I only been like maybe the one hotel that had a sleep number where I could increase it and get the firmness of the bed the way I want to. I was like, what happened? Why more hotels don't have this? I want a sleep number in my hotel room. Them the only hotels I want to stay at from now on. So like I say, every year for the next 5 years, you get $35,000. But wait, there's more. You're still a performer. You get a $15,000 bonus. So that year you might get 35,000 plus 15,000. It's $50,000. So you bonus like that every year for the next 5 years. Now that's $250,000. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go be an entrepreneur. You can do it on the side. Now, I laugh. And I gotta wrap up the show, and I didn't get through all my links. I gotta wrap up the show. But before I wrap up the show, there's two things I want to make sure we talk about. Three things. Three. I'm not gonna be able to go into detail on this one. I don't know if y'all saw this. The first ever black-owned stock exchange in the U.S. launched this year. I don't know if y'all have been checking it out. The Dream Exchange. The Dream Exchange. Go check it out. What's going on, Derek? Next up, I talked about this a little bit last week, but $90 trillion transfer of wealth begins creating the richest generation in human history. A seismic shift of wealth is beginning in the U.S., which will create the richest generation in recorded history, according to the report. The global real estate consultancy firm Knight Frank is releasing its 2024 wealth report. And it finds boomers will hand $90 trillion in assets to millennials over the next 20 years. 90 trillion. The number is higher than other estimates, which have pegged the transfer to be 53 trillion and 84 trillion. By 2030, millennials are expected to have 5 times as much wealth as they have today. It follows after a rough ride for the generation, which has suffered the consequences of 2008 financial crisis and an era of money printing. Now, what's going to happen is Gen X is going to get part of that wealth transfer as well too. But because Gen X is so much smaller than millennials, I don't think the numbers matter. Gen X may get skipped, but we're gonna be quiet in the wealth transfer. It'll come back out. Here's the other thing that's gonna happen, and it's happening now. Gen Z are like, yo, we don't want to do the 9 to 5. But the Gen Xers will work the 9 to 5. We'll go and collect whatever wealth transfer that happens. We'll go and collect whatever job is out there. We'll go work another business and we'll just get the money. That's just what we do. And yes, we'll have girls' trips. And yes, we'll have boys' trips. And yes, we'll have family trips. And we're going to do what we do. Right? Despite being tagged as lazy, the 2023 report from the Alliant Credit Union found millennials are actually the most physically motivated and responsible generation, largely out of necessity. Alliant also says 53% of millennials believe they'll receive $350,000 or more from their parents, while boomers say they plan to give $250,000 or less. If your mom and dad have a house in most of these mega cities in the right areas, transferring that house to you is also part of this wealth conversation. So 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to inherit a house. If you're smart, you would not let this go to probate court. You will go ahead and throw it into a trust. So you don't go to probate court. Then you will also make sure that you're on all documents. All documents. Yep, the reverse mortgages. Make sure you are on all documents. If they haven't signed up and put beneficiary, have your mama and your daddy log in and say you are beneficiary. Show them, make them show you on sites, on paperwork. Now it says, as for what it takes to join the top 1% in America, it takes 5.8 million. That's the new number that came out. The number is 700,000 higher than what it was just a year ago. So on average, millennials will receive about 350,000. My assumption is that part of that 350,000 is a house. It may be 350,000 and the house, but part of my assumption is that part of that is 350,000. The part of that is probably a house. On average, your parents probably have houses that are worth anywhere from 250 to 500,000. On average. On average, your parents probably have anywhere from 300,000 to 500,000 on average. That's what I'm guesstimating. So most of your parents should be anywhere from a minimum of $500,000 and up on average in their net worth. On average. Paid off houses or damn near paid off. If the average home in the United States to buy is around, let's see, average house cost in the US, 417. It says the median increase, the median was 329. So I'm like I said, I'm gonna average around about 400,000 on a home. Plus your parents probably got anywhere from 5 to 600 in prospective pensions and so forth, probably millionaires, TSP millionaires, 401k millionaires, Roth IRA millionaires. And you're going to inherit these 401k, these inherit these things, these tax advantage accounts, and you're not going to know what to do with them. You're not going to know what to do with them. And you're going to listen to somebody, and somebody going to tell you cash it all out. That's what you're going to hear. You're going to listen to somebody, and they're going to say cash out the inherited IRA. That's what they're going to tell you. Causing a taxable event, possibly, in terms of increasing your your money for that year. Consult someone before you do that. I don't care if you call Ramsey Solutions. I don't care. But consult someone before you do that. All right. On my way out, this right here. Oh, I had a video I did want to watch. I want to talk about HashiCorp, their buyback plan, but we're going to bypass that. I save it for next week. Oh, that ain't the one. Hold on. That's the Netflix one. I don't want to talk about that. Let me see. Is this it? Yeah, this is it right here. So I was watching this video, and this guy just made sense to me, and I hope he makes sense to you. Where it's 5 minutes long, but
one of the books that I read when I'm starting out being an entrepreneur.
I don't want to talk about what he's talking about, but I do. All right. So in this video, he talks about changing your mindset. On the left-hand side, he has what it's like to be a W-2 worker and what is it like to be a 1099 worker on each side. And that's cool. And he talks about the liabilities that you have as a W-2 worker. You have a house, you have a car, you have credit card, car loan, mortgage, student loan. And then as the person who is doing the 1099, you're writing off all these things, the car, the property, the training, entertainment, traditional IRA, da 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 da. But that's not what I wanted to show. There was a comment that he had in here that I think was really the best response to a comment. Because oftentimes we always talk about, is it better to be a entrepreneur or a W-2 worker? But he explains it the exact way I explain it. This question right here says, should I skip my 9 to 5 or quit the 9 to 5? Here's his answer. He said, and let me blow it up some more. Ooh, I hate when it does that. Where is it at? Oh, now I got to go back and find it. Oh, here you go. All right, you can see it there. All right. He says, if you can get paid a salary with commission, bonus, awards, it would be good, as then income is based on results and not completely on time. I made my first million from working a 9 to 5 and making contributions to my 401k with company match, and making both Roth IRA contributions for both my wife and myself. I work part-time on my 5 of my businesses. He worked his 9 to 5 to make his million. And I'm saying, get in tech, work 10 years, and make your multi-million. Why can't you get into tech, make 1.5 to 2.5 million or 1 to 2.5 million? I showed you how. Then you take your money that you made and you say, hey, I made my million. I'm retiring from tech right now. I'm finna go do my thing on the side. But wait, there's more. He's like, I found it useful to work during the day to cover all my needs and max out my retirement accounts, provide health care for my family. That stability has let me fund and take small risks with large potential gains on a commercial bakery, hard landscaping construction, multiple YouTube channels, Google and Amazon affiliates, commercial farming, etc., etc. I also trade stock options and stocks, but have found that was more of a gamble, and all the data points of higher returns and less time investment by just investing in SPY, VU, which I did a comparison of, and I'll do that really quickly. A mutual fund, FXAIX, and SWPPX. Note all investments carry risk and can lose value. I also realized that most of my businesses lose money for the first several years before turning profit. I do not like to take risk and ruin my family's future, so I keep one foot planted, pretty much working, and 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 use my nights and weekends to experiment. Over 90% of businesses will fail, so I just create a new one every 6 to 12 months. And if it works, I keep it. If it does not, then I move on and try something different, but learn from each attempt. This also reduces the stress on everyone. My wife and I discuss each idea and refine it, and then I go after it. She is happy with the results and does not need to work. It's also easier to dream together when everything is not riding on one idea. That's it. It's all I'm saying. Get in, make your million or two, and get out. Invest along the way. Increase your skill set along the way. If you're going to go out and be an entrepreneur on your own skill sets, make sure you are starting and understanding how businesses work. The customer is all. I had this debate last night, and the guy was saying, and you all can put in the chat what you think. I'm gonna tell you what I think. He said, in order to be in leadership, people have to want to follow you. I think differently. I think in order to be in leadership, you need to be a servant leader, and you have to want to remove roadblocks for the team to be successful. For who? Not for me, but for the customer, because the customer pays the bills. I'm a servant leader, helping to remove roadblocks and ensure that my team is successful. What tools do I need to give to my team so they can be successful, so we can do what we need to do for that customer? Because if I have the customer happy, they pay the bills. And if my team is happy, we help each other and we remove the roadblocks and we're successful and we get to eat repeatedly. Right? The name of this is what the rich teach their kids, how to become rich lessons, from Rich Dad Poor Dad. It was posted 5 days ago. I just thought the comment was great in what he was saying, because that's all I've been saying is you don't have to work in tech forever, but you could if you wanted to. But have a 10-year to 15-year plan utilizing your skill sets in order to get there. So, with that being said, when I talk about that profit sharing 401k and they're putting $70,000 into your 401k with you and you contributing and they're contributing as the employer, and we bump this up to 10 years, and we calculate that's 1.142 million. In 10 years, you worked. You could walk away from that. You have your nest egg. Not only do you have your nest egg, because you've been over here collecting that other money, which comes out. I'll be nice and do 40,000 a year. And let's say you were like, you know what, Tameika, I know this thing is coming up. I'm gonna put in 1,500, whatever this is, over there for the next 10 years into whatever that is that's gonna return you 8%. I don't care. And you calculate that. So on the side, you got the 1.1 million over there working. You got the extra money working. That's 347,000. Or you could take that and go buy real estate with it, or you could go do whatever. But now you're sitting here at 1.5 million, give or take, that you've earned in this 10 years. If you decided that you want to go and do something else, you could. And this money right here doesn't even have to be in a IRA or whatever. It could literally be in a brokerage account where you're just playing. And this is where he gets into it, where he talks about it, where you can be in VOO, where you could be in you could be even in VTI, whatever the case may be. So now let's go one thing and I'm out. I just want to show you this so you know what I'm talking about, so it makes sense to you. Oh, come on. Oh yeah, my phone is up here. Let me get my stuff. I gotta log in. Okay, so now let's do some research and let's do it on ETFs. Okay, so let's do a comparison here. Screener, compare. Here we go. All right. About to do a comparison here. All right, so let's go back to his comments with SPY, SPY, VOO. If you're feeling froggy, you can do VTI if you want to. All right, so these are the three that I chose. All right, SPY, ETF, right? 503 billion under assets, VOO 1.1 trillion under assets, and VTI 1.5 trillion under assets. You can look down here and keep going, and you can look and see the risk and returns. And I'm looking strictly for the return. Let's open. I'm looking for the return on those. Oh, performance. Here we go. So basically, they're showing here the S&P 500 and understanding what they follow to, right? VTI is below the S&P 500, SPY and VOO, and what they're returning. So in 10 years, just on these alone, they're returning around 12.66% in 10 years. And they show you in the 5-year mark, they return about 14. 10-year, they return about 12.6. Since inception, 10.23, 14.28, and 8.52. And then they got down here monthly market return. This is the monthly market return. This right here is the monthly NAV return. And then the year to date return, 26.14 year to date for VU. And then VTI. Is it VTI next? No, SPY, VU, and then VTI. So this is what you're looking at. So I was being nice with doing 8%, because they tell you right here in the years of what they're actually returned over the years. Right? So, and this was probably the average. So you can figure out whether you want to be in one of these or not. But again, when we're talking about this, I went with 8% on a return, because you probably could average out to 8%. You can do less and go 7. But if you look at this mark here, it shows you right here if it was 6%, if it was 8%, or if it was 10%. So that's why I do 2. Right? All right, y'all. It's been real. I hope you got something out of this episode. I didn't do everything I want to do in this episode. I got derailed. But it's okay. You learned about defense stocks today and ETFs. You learned about the different companies and the jobs. You also learned about profit sharing 401ks. You also learned about the $90 trillion wealth transfer. You also learned about what the average is to be expected of that. Last night I showed you the net worth of most Asians at $538,000. I showed you the net worth of blacks and how the Asians have surpassed the whites. And I also connected the dots with whether or not you think you should be getting a degree because you think a degree is a scam, or you think a certification. I'm telling you, do both. You can argue with me and debate me. You can leave comments under the actual title of this video, what have you. Prove to me that I'm wrong based on stats. Don't come to me because your mama and your daddy are entrepreneurs and they were successful in business. That's not gonna work for me. Give me hard, concrete evidence that shows that you can prove that over time, and this has been proven time and time again, that men with degrees, with graduate degrees, out earn men who just have finished high school or have some high school. They out earn them by 1.5 million. I don't know what worth or net worth or anything means to you legacy wise, but if I hear 1.5 million that I'm going to get out earned, that's a problem. And I say this to you, and you all can do whatever, but give me the stats of retired truck drivers, retired plumbers. Give me and tell me their net worth and tell me when they retire, because I have not seen anybody talk about I'm a retired truck driver and I made millions in trucking and retired from trucking. I see people stop trucking, but I've never seen I'm a retired truck driver. I've seen a retired bus driver, but not a retired truck driver. I have not heard about anybody saying they retired from plumbing and they were an entrepreneur and they retired from plumbing. I haven't seen it. You tell me, you show me those stats, I'll be more than happy to engage. I just haven't seen it. Some employers told me no, even though they were fans of my skill set, because I didn't have a bachelor's degree, I got more opportunities because I have a bachelor's. Yeah. I'm just pointing out. I think the whole message of don't get a degree is setting up for failure in the long run. You may not need it going in, but you still need to get it. That's just my thought process. You may call it being scammed by the white man. I don't care, whatever you call it. But I just know, and the stats don't lie. Stats don't lie. Right here. Right here. Men and women who received a college degree by age 46, 88% for men and 90% for women. Men and women who did not complete high school were less likely to marry than men and women with more education. This is from Department of Labor. And it also goes to state that men and women who do not get a college degree have a 45% chance of being divorced. Why do they have a 45% chance of being divorced? Because of the lack of money coming in. It depends on what you're trying to do with Salesforce. The gender gap in marriages between college educated partners. Like there's studies upon studies upon studies and upon studies of this. It's just I don't know why we try to defeat math, but math is undefeated. Derek, you said you got your Linux skills on the job, but I learned how to write, think critically, and organize and convey my thoughts from school. Correct. All I'm saying is do the work. Stop making excuses as to why you can't do the work. Stop listening to people that want to tell you that doing the work and going to school is just a setback or you're going to be in debt. Stop listening to people that tell you don't buy a house. Stop listening to people that tell you don't invest in your 401k. You can do all those things. Is it traditional? Is it slow? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I want to leave y'all with this. Some of you are not nice people, and so you don't make great leaders. Leadership may not be your thing. I'm just being honest. Some of you don't have great leadership qualities. Some of you don't know how to delegate. Some of you don't know how to train people. Some of you are not trainable. That's all I'm saying. Just putting it out there. All right, y'all. Y'all be safe.